Hi there, I'm Frank, and this is a wine. Let's drink it together. Let's drink a very well-known wine from Spain, López de Heredia. This is their 2008 Tondonia Reserva. This is mostly Tempranillo with some Garnacho, Graciano, Mazzarello. So, you know, from a blend point of view, it's a pretty typical red Rioja, but again, this is a very well-known producer, and $55, I want to say. That's how much they go for right now. And yeah, let's go through it and see what we think. Here's the color. Gorgeous color. There's a nice transparency, you know, to it. That's not too dark. The wine does not come across kind of, you know, gooey and goopy, you know what I'm saying? No, this is almost like Pinot Noir-like, which is quite beautiful. Let's give it a smell. There's the wine. Yeah, it's a fabulous, beautiful nose right here. Real fresh, for me, you know, kind of some strawberries. There's a sense of, now 2008 is a little bit older. This winery hold their wines back longer than necessary. So in this case, they held back this 2008 for 10 years. I believe right now their newest release is probably 2010. Yeah, great, right? What a public service, you know, when wineries do this. Can you imagine if Bordeaux does that? Can you imagine that Bordeaux would, for their Grand Vin, they would actually hold it back for 10 years, for 8 years, 7 years? No, they won't do it because, you know, cash flow. Cash is king. Gotta keep that cash flowing, you know? But back to the wine, really gorgeous sense of, just for me, that strawberry, you know, right there. A little dried out strawberry, perhaps. A little bit of cherry liqueur right there. But very lifted, very bright. Yeah. Gorgeous nose. A little bit of a tobacco leaf with a little bit of forest floor, some mushroom, and a sense of savoriness, you know, kind of a salty ham right here. But lovely nose, lovely nose. Let's give it a drink. Wow. Yeah, it's quite delicious. Nice, great sense of energy. The tannin, there's still a good structure to this wine, but that tannin has resolved, you know, with time, and it's kind of integrated into the wine. Nice finish, good persistent finish right there. The wine comes across very clean. No funny stuff like too much Brett or you know, too high of a VA or mousiness, you know, that kind of stuff. So no, this is a fabulous wine. At $55, this is you know, in my book, a great buy. Now, this may not be for everybody, and I'll go into a little bit of that. But before that, let's go through my 48-point, you know, system. For those of you who don't know, my 48-point system is completely proprietary, completely unscientific, and who knows, it probably will change, you know, depending on my mood. But if you want to learn more about it, go down to the description. But let's go. Let's start. Let's start with complexity. I think this wine has very good complexity. I'll give it 5 out of 6. You know, obviously with that, you know, with some age, 14 years of age, this, you know, that a little bit of forest floor, subo, you know, mushroom, a little bit sense of umami, you know, character really comes out. It's very It's very, very gorgeous. I really, really enjoy that. Purity, I gotta give this 6 out of 6 on this one. To me, I'm sure this wine was aged in oak, but I think these are very large format oaks, and they're oaks that have been used over and over again. So it almost doesn't matter if they use French oak or American oak. A lot of times, you know, traditionally in Rioja they use American oak. It almost doesn't matter what kind of oak they use right here. It just doesn't really obstruct, you know, the entire, you know, experience. This is very much fruit forward, very much terroir driven. So for purity, I gotta give this 6 out of 6. It is great. Intensity, this has very good intensity. There's quite a bit of wine right here, you know, energetic, good concentration. So I give it 5 out of 6. Focus. This has great focus. I gotta give it 6 out of 6 on this one again. And what does that mean? This wine has as much energy, as much concentration this wine has. There's a real tightness, you know, to this wine. It's a very precise delivery. You know, it's kind of like when you watch someone who, you know, the difference between a good dancer and a great dancer. You know, there's just no. You know, they're just, you know, in that delivery, you know, they could be making the same dance moves, but a great dancer, there's just no excess movement. You know, it's just everything is just very, very tight and clean. And yeah, this is great focus. Refinement, very good refinement. I give it 5 out of 6. Not quite at the level, you know, when it comes to refinement as some of the most famous Bordeaux's, but nonetheless, very good. 5 out of 6. Persistence. 5 out of 6, very good. There's a nice lingering length to it. Very, very good. Now there is something in there that, you know, there's a slight, and I say this, there's a slight metallic note there in the finish. Personally, it's not necessarily my favorite. I have a guess what that could be. You know, I think sometimes wines that has a little bit of Brett, you know, in the wine may have that in the finish. I know earlier I mentioned that, you know, on the nose and the palate, this wine was squeaky clean. I didn't pick up any of the, you know, the Brett. But I have to say, on the finish, there's a little bit of metallic there. You know, some people may describe it as sanguine. Some people may describe it as a, you know, bloody finger or, you know, rusted nail, whatever. But yeah, it's there. I think it actually adds a little bit of interest to the wine. It's not a problem at all, but yeah, just thought I'd mention it. Balance, very, very good balance right here. That play between, you know, fruit and the tannins and the alcohol is very, very well in check. In fact, I don't notice any alcohol at all on this wine. For me personally, this would be a little bit dangerous. I would probably consume the entire bottle and just take a really long nap somewhere, you know, on a sofa, because the alcohol is just so well in check right here. You don't really notice it. I don't give it, I decided not to give it a 6 out of 6, you know, for great balance, is because while I really appreciate the energy, the brightness, the acidity here is just a tad out of balance for me. And, you know, it takes it, you know, if that acidity can be more integrated into the wine where you don't notice as much, then this can get 6 out of 6 on balance. But for this, the wine right now, I can give it 5 out of 6. And resonance, this is the most woo-woo, the most ridiculous of all the aspects. This is, you know, this tells me, you know, when I think about a great wine, it needs to have a sense of life, etherealness, you know, a vibration with the universe. Like I said, the most ridiculous out of all of my categories right here. This has very good resonance, not quite great resonance. I'm not sure if this is a little too young. Yes, that's right. A 14-year-old wine. I think this is definitely on the more youthful side. I'm not sure, you know, give it another, you know, 6, 8, 10 years. This wine could pick up even more resonance, but right now I would give it a 5 out of 6, which is very good. Now, overall, I think, let's do some math right here. Let's add up all the points. You know, out of the possible 48, this wine gets a a 42 out of 48. That's a very, very good score. I haven't been using my scale for very long, but you know, so far this is by far the highest you know, score I've given a wine. Just for reference, if you go back and watch you know, my review of the 2014 Léoville Parfait, that scored a 36. So this is a 42. What does that mean? I don't know. Probably nothing. But for $55, it may seem like $55 may seem like, you know, quite a bit of money, but really, you know, when you are talking about a wine like this, I gotta be honest with you, when it comes to bang for the buck, this is pretty tough to beat. This is pretty tough to beat. Now, is this for everybody? No, this is definitely not for everybody. In fact, if you are, you know, trying to impress someone who is just getting into wine, I would say this is probably not going to go very well, because this doesn't really have that sort of, you know, lushness that a lot of times that, you know, people look for, you know, in fancy wines. It doesn't have that, you know, really expensive oak treatment that people associate, again, with very expensive fancy wines. And like I said, the acidity here is great. It's got beautiful acidity. But for people who are, you know, let's just be honest, you know, for most normal people, acidity bothers them a little bit. And I expect that a lot of people would just kind of drink this and say, ooh, that's too sour. And that's that, you know. So this, I would say, it's not for people who are sort of just kind of getting into wine at all. But this is for people who are sort of already very crazy about wine, have spent a lot of times drinking all kinds of crazy stuff. They will come to appreciate this. And for those people, for $55, I must say, this is probably one of the most unbelievable, you know, deals out there, you know, in terms of value for the price. It's it really has a gorgeous, you know, gorgeous purity right there. You know, this is a serious wine, and you have to be a little bit weird. You have to be definitely quirky, maybe even a little bit crazy, you know, to really truly appreciate a wine like this, because there's this is because there's something in here that's just I think what really separates, you know, the people who just kind of looking for that, you know, everyday, you know, enjoyment, something that's, you know, delicious, easy to drink, and easy to understand, versus the people who are looking for some deeper truth, mystery about nature, about existence and stuff like that. You know, this is really for the second camp. You know, this is for the people who, you know, don't just want to drive around a, you know, a nice Mercedes and, you know, and be happy with the, you know, the beautiful, you know, craftsmanship of the leather and you know, the nice appointments and stuff like, you know, in the cabin. No, this is really for people who can afford it and have done it, but somehow still feels this, you know, dissatisfied, you know, with all of it, and is looking for something that's more real to hold on to. So yes, this is definitely for the weirdos, the wine weirdos, which I think I am one. And I suspect if you're watching this video now till the end, you're definitely a wine weirdo yourself. So congratulations, I guess. Cheers. Until next time.